Hey there, podcast lovers. Looking for a fresh take on the world? Tune into Nikki's World, where we dive into everything hitting the headlines and chat about just what's on our minds. No filters, just real talk. Whether you're sipping your morning coffee or unwinding after a long day, Nikki's World is your go-to for genuine commentary on the real world. Subscribe now if you want to hear the real deal on what's going on. Join the conversation on Nikki's World, where every episode feels like catching up with an old friend. Don't miss out.
What's up, y'all? Let's do this.
Oh, hi guys. Welcome to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. And today, guys, we got to talk about why the New York City elections is so important to Connecticut and why Connecticut residents should watch what's happening in New York City. But before we go any further, guys, if you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider donating a cup of coffee for me, because for the price of a cup of coffee at Starbucks, Dunkin' Donuts, and Cumberland Farms, guys, you guys help keep this podcast show alive. You guys help me curate more stories, more topics like this to talk about. I do accept Bitcoin donations. I am on Ko-fi, guys. If you guys want to support, sponsor, donate, and tip to Nikki's World. If you guys love Nikki's World so much, seriously, y'all, please hit that like, subscribe, please give me a review, good, bad, and the ugly. Also, guys, I do have a bunch of affiliate links. First off is Minds.com. Minds.com is a Connecticut-based social media platform. They are an awesome alternative to Facebook, guys. So if you guys value your right to freedom of speech like I do, and you guys want to be able to say stuff without fear of being blocked, suspended, or deplatformed from all the other social media platforms, well then, guys, head on over to Minds.com. Also, guys, I do have the most awesome, and I mean the most awesome affiliate link with Byrna. Byrna is the less lethal self-defense company, guys. In times like today, where the political and social climate is getting like nervous and like giving us anxiety and all that, guys, well, having a burner will give you the level of protection, and when the time comes, you're prepared to defend. So if you guys value your right to the Second Amendment and your right to defend yourself, but you guys want to do it in a less lethal manner, guys, head to my friends at Byrna.com, because at Byrna, they make their top of the line Byrna SD, LE, TCR, Mission 4, and their newest, guys, compact launcher. So if you guys want to defend yourself, you guys want to use your Second Amendment rights, but you want to do it in a less lethal manner, well then, guys, head on over to Byrna.com. Also, guys, I do have the most awesome, and I mean the most awesome affiliate link with North Shore Medical Supply. North Shore Medical Supply makes their top of the line North Shore Megamax diapers, their North Shore Supreme pull ups, their Eterna boosters, guys. So if you know someone out there who needs to wear adult diapers and who needs to be put in adult diapers like I do, guys, well then, send them on over to my friends at North Shore Medical Supply and they will make sure that they are diapered up as always. And before we get this show on the road, literally, guys, if you guys love this episode and any of my other episodes on Nikki's World, seriously, y'all, can y'all please consider sharing this across all the social media platforms that are out there today? Woo, wow, yeah, that is a mouthful. And that is a mouthful. And yes, guys, I'm still coming down with tendinitis, and this tendinitis is becoming a pain in the ass for me because it's clogged up my left ear. It's ringing like so badly and giving this like humming sound. So it's been like stressing me out. It's been like basically like frustrating me because I can't hear what everybody else is doing, and it's like it's been a pain in the ass for me, so to speak. So anyway, type it up as always. I'm in my North Shore Megamax diapers with my Eternal boosters, and I'm in my onesies from Little Comforts. So I'm diapered up, padded up. Let's get on with the show, shall we? So today I want to talk about these articles, okay? Especially from the New York Post, okay? This one really hits home, especially in my home state of Connecticut, okay? And this article coming from the New York Post, Connecticut governor warns Wall Street at risk if Mandani wins New York City mayor's race. Here's the thing, ladies and gentlemen. If Mandani wins New York City mayor's race, Connecticut, along with Westchester County, Nassau, and Suffolk County, is fucked royally. They are fucked beyond fucked. Because, especially in Fairfield and New Haven counties, guys, because what's going to happen is the people who voted for Mandani and voted for the socialist, communist, Democrat policies that they want to impose on New York City, those people are going to flee to states to like Westchester County, Nassau, Suffolk, Fairfield, and New Haven counties in Connecticut. And especially in Connecticut right now, they're going to flee. They're going to flee to those places. And when they do, guys, we don't have the infrastructure to take in the influx of New York City refugees who voted to destroy their own city. Yeah, we don't have the fucking infrastructure. And here's the scary part, and I'm going to scare half, almost the entire state of Connecticut over this. If Mandani gets elected as mayor of New York City in November next month, not only is Fairfield County and New Haven County fucked, the whole entire state of Connecticut, the rest of the counties, Litchfield, Hartford, Holland, Wyndham, New London, and Middlesex, they're all screwed because we're going to see the influx of New Yorkers, especially people from New York City, fleeing after they voted to destroy their own city and then migrate up to, say, Hartford area, Waterbury, Wyndham, New London area. They're going to do the same shit all over again. And the fact of the matter is, guys, Connecticut we have our own crazies. We have our own crazies to deal with. We can't take any more crazies from New York City who's destroying their own city. Okay? And this is akin, ladies and gentlemen, of what California did to Colorado by sending their residents to Colorado into Austin, Texas, and try to destroy that place. That's what's going to happen if Mandani wins the November election. If he wins, not only Westchester, Suffolk, and Nassau County is fucked, Connecticut's Gold Coast, which is Fairfield County, and the other one, New Haven County, they're fucked too. And then after that, Litchfield, Hartford, Tolland, Wyndham, New London, and Middlesex, we're next. We're screwed. We're screwed no matter what. Even though New York City is like what? An hour or two away? But what happens over there? We're fucked here in Connecticut. Where I live in Connecticut is a small town, and I don't name my town for security reasons. It's a small town outside of Hartford. We would be fucked up the ass if Mandani gets elected. Because I'm telling you, if Mandani gets elected, we're gonna see an influx of New York City refugees who voted for that shit flee to Connecticut and then vote for the same shit again on top of the crazies that we already have, which is what? Our progressive Democrats. Okay? Our progressive Democrats, which is what? It's a one-party state. We don't have a Republican representation here in this state. We don't have a Republican congressman representing Republicans like Connecticut Republicans. We don't. The state's a one-party state, okay? Which means the state, everything from the governor down to the legislator is all run by Democrats, okay? There's hardly any Republican representation. Same thing with our congressional side. It's all Democrats. There's no Republicans representing us. So what happens is, if Mandani wins, Connecticut it'll be like the final nail in the coffin in Connecticut. Okay? Connecticut could be literally writing its obituary if Mandani gets elected. Okay? The fact that this scares Governor Ned Lamont should also scare the living shit out of Connecticut residents, because here's what's going to happen. If Mandani wins the general election, okay, in November for mayor of New York City, okay, his policies are going to drive people out. The people that voted for his policies are going to flee to, first off, Westchester County, Nassau, and Suffolk County, okay? Then afterwards, they're going to flee further into what? Fairfield County and what's the other one? New Haven County. They're going to flee into that. Fairfield and New Haven County don't even have the infrastructure to take on these refugees. We don't. We don't even have the housing. Yeah. Look at what's going on in Hartford. Progressive Democrats want to force small towns to build housing because they know that they're gonna get an influx of New York refugees who voted for Mandani's bullshit. Yeah. So this is why, guys, and I say this a lot, guys, this is why Mandani is a threat to Connecticut. He's a threat to Connecticut because if the voters are stupid and retarded enough to vote him in, he is going to screw over Fairfield and New Haven County so fucking badly that the rest of the state is going to suffer because of that. That means, for example, you think driving on I-84, I-91, or I-95 is bad enough right now? What would happen, ladies and gentlemen, if Mandani got elected New York City mayor and all the refugees fled to, say, Connecticut? Your commute could go a lot longer than it should, guys. Your commute, ladies and gentlemen, could go so long that it's not even funny. It's not. And I'm telling you this right now, guys, as I'm here in my diaper and onesie, my commute to work could be like hours instead of minutes. It could be like hours. And just to go to some place in Connecticut could be like hours. It literally could, guys. It literally could. But that's why I tell people this. And I tell people, Mandani is a clear and present danger to Connecticut. He literally is. Because the idiots that vote for him are going to be the idiots that flee to Connecticut and then vote for the same stupid policies that destroyed New York City, that they're going to do it here in Connecticut. But the only difference is Connecticut's already halfway destroyed. They're just going to put the final nail in the coffin. Yeah. So to me, guys, New York City election should be watched carefully. Because I'm going to tell you this right now. Mandani should scare the living fucking daylights out of everyone in Connecticut. Because just imagine waking up after the November election to find out that people are fleeing New York City to Connecticut or to towns like Newington, Weathersfield, Rocky Hill, New Britain, Waterbury, New Haven, Hartford, East Hartford, West Hartford, like that. All because they voted to destroy New York City and now they're fleeing to Connecticut to do the same shit. Telling you, man, Mandani will be a nightmare for Connecticut. It'll be a biggest nightmare in history. And if you think that's bad enough, look what happened to Detroit, Michigan. That should be a canary in a coal mine for people. Okay? But then again, stupid people do stupid shit. And they do enough stupid shit to destroy themselves that it's not even funny anymore. It isn't. But I'm telling you this right now. We need to do all we can as Connecticut residents to make sure Mandani doesn't get elected New York City mayor. We should do all we can, okay? Because I'm telling you this right now. If Mandani gets elected, your small town in Connecticut could be in jeopardy, could be in danger, okay? Your small town way of life, like Berlin, Portland, like Wyndham or Windsor, South Windsor, Avon, Simsbury, could no longer exist because we would be flooded with New York City refugees trying to escape the fact that they destroyed their own city by voting for a socialist communist. Okay, we 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 should be scared of that prospect. Okay, and this article, okay, and this article from the American Thinker says it all. And I'm going to read you the headline from this. From the American Thinker, keep New York City from becoming New Mark City. Okay? Read you the paragraph. If you're in New York or would like to donate to a New York mayoral candidate, There's only one serious candidate that hasn't caused thousands to die. That would be Andrew Cuomo, and isn't allied to a political ideology that has historically caused tens of millions of people to die, i.e., Zohan Mandani. The man who should win, of course, is Curtis Sliwell. And Curtis Sliwell's that Republican who is running for mayor, okay, and who is like the founder of the Guardian Angels, who has fought crime in New York City, okay. Here's the thing: if you want to seriously win, if you seriously want to support a candidate, okay, Curtis Sliwell would be it. Andrew Cuomo, he killed tens of thousands of people during COVID. He shouldn't be mayor of New York. New York. Mandani, his communist ideology killed millions of people. He shouldn't be mayor. He shouldn't. But let me put it this way: Curtis Sliwell, he has a track record of cleaning up the streets of New York City, the subways of New York City too. I'd vote for him if I was a New York City resident. I'd vote for him in a damn heartbeat. I literally would. Yeah, I literally would. But American Thinker seems to think that, yeah, Curtis Sliwell is the path to the making sure that Mandani doesn't get elected. And I think Connecticut residents should do the same thing, like support and back Curtis Sliwell, because I'm gonna tell you this: Curtis Sliwell would make sure Mandani never gets elected, and if Mandani gets elected, instead of calling it New York City, it'll be New Mark City, and the people who are voting for that shit are the ones who would escape to, say, Westchester County, Nassau, Suffolk, and the other is what? In Connecticut, Fairfield and New Haven County? Yeah. But the fact of the matter is, guys, and I'm going to say this crystal clear: Mandani should not be elected mayor of New York. He already scares the living shit out of people. He already scares the living shit out of everyone. Okay? He already does. All right? But I'm going to tell you this: as someone who lives in Hartford County, I'd be scared and worried about what happens in New York City. Because here's the thing: whatever happens in New York City migrates its way up here. Like, for example, I drive on I-84, I-91, I-95, Route 9, 72. I often see New York City plates like here. I often see New Yorkers go here. And I think like this, because many New Yorkers are escaping New York City to come to another shithole like in Connecticut and destroy that shithole as well. Yeah, yeah. And it dawns upon me that these people would go from one shithole to another shithole and then destroy that shithole in the process. When that shithole that's being destroyed is like further being destroyed. Yeah. But to say this, guys, as someone who literally lives like within 2 hours drive of like lower Manhattan, New York, I'd be scared shit right now. I'd be scared of the prospect that Mandani could be mayor of New York City, could literally destroy this city from inside and out, and literally like send his voters to Fairfield, New Haven County, and destroy that shithole, which ultimately would destroy this shithole in Connecticut. Yeah, that's what scares me. As a Connecticut resident, that's what scares me. and it scares me the prospect that my small town where I live in Connecticut, nice, quiet, quaint small town, could be uprooted by New Yorkers who invade this state and who like bring their voting values, their driving habits, their social habits, and then destroy my small town of in Connecticut. And I don't name my small town, guys. There's a reason for that because I have lefties and trans cult members who would love to take pot shots at me. That's why I carry a burner because you never know what kind of crazies you're dealing with. So that's why that's why my biggest fear, guys, is imagining waking up and seeing a bunch of New Yorkers who fled their shithole because who they voted for come over to Connecticut and vote for the same shithole and destroy the state even further. Yeah. And then just think, we don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the housing to bring these people in. We don't, guys. I'm sorry to say this, guys. We do not have the infrastructure to support more people. We don't. We don't even have the space to open up like housing. Some of the spaces we have are what forests and wetlands that are so federally protected that we can't even build on them. We can't. We simply can't. But the fact is, guys, Mandani would scare the living shit out of people in Connecticut. Okay? And I know people what in Western Mass are probably what watching this as well because they know what's going to happen if they overrun Connecticut. Guess who they're going after next? This is Western Massachusetts. Yeah. So that's why I go like this. Not only people in Connecticut are watching what's going on in New York City, but also people in Western Massachusetts are watching what's going on as well. Because here's the thing, their policies is what's going to scare the living shit out of people like you and me. Okay? The people who voted for Mandani and voted to destroy New York City and turn it into another Detroit, Michigan, and turn it into a socialist communist shithole are the ones that flee to other states, counties, and cities and do the same thing. It's just like California Democrats. California Democrats did the same shit to Colorado. They fled California because of their power, because they didn't like how California was. This coming from Democrats, but then they fled to Colorado, flooded that state with Democrats, destroyed that state with the same policies that they had in California, and put it in Colorado. Yeah, that's what's going to happen if Mandani becomes mayor of New York City. When he becomes mayor, ladies and gentlemen, he's going to do the same shit that California did to Colorado. And and what he's going to do, he'll do the same shit to Westchester County, to Nassau and Suffolk County, and then along the lines, Fairfield and New Haven County. Because I'm telling you this, the people who voted for that shit are the ones who are going to cause the destruction of your town and county. Now, I know Connecticut, we don't have like a formal county type government. We all have like towns and all that. But your town in Connecticut could be in danger because of the policies that like Mandani voters voted for and then flee to say, I'm gonna give a town like say New Haven, West Haven, East Haven, Ansonia, Derby, or Seymour or Milford or Norwalk or Stanford or Greenwich, And then you have the rich folks who live in like what? Darien, Ridgefield and all that. They'd flee out. They'd flee out real quick. Once they see the influx of New York refugees, they'd flee. And this is what's gonna be the warning sign here. When you see the rich class of Connecticut that live in the Gold Coast of Fairfield County, that means towns like Greenwich, Darien, okay, Westport, like Ridgefield, okay, like that. When you see those people who bought like $1 million houses, put them up that when they put them up for sale and then they flee, that's when you know that Connecticut's about to be turned into a third world shithole because of the fact that the idiots who voted for Mandani are fleeing to Connecticut, and the rich in Connecticut are like, bye, we're fleeing elsewhere. Yep, that's what's going to happen, guys. That's what's going to happen here in Connecticut. And I'm betting you this, guys, and I'm going to bet you this. When that happens, people who live in, say, Naugatuck, Waterbury, Cheshire, Prospect, you know what I mean? Or Wallingford or North Haven, East Haven, they're going to get fucked. They're going to get fucked beyond fucked because so many New Yorkers who voted to destroy their own city are going to do it here in Connecticut. And I'm telling you this, we're going to get fucked. We are. Because here's the thing. Our state here in Connecticut, we don't have the infrastructure to support massive amounts of New York City liberal like socialist, communist, Democrat refugees who voted to destroy their own city, flee to here to do the same shit all over again. We don't have the infrastructure. We don't have the transportation network like New York City, okay? Come past New Haven, we have like a limited transportation infrastructure. Like, say, for example, we only have like CT rail that goes from New Haven to Springfield. We have the CT fast track that goes from Waterbury to Yukon stores. Yeah, we don't have that kind of infrastructure that the residents in New York have. We don't. But I'm telling you this right now. What scares a lot of us and what scares people like me in Connecticut is waking up one day, finding my roads clogged with New York refugees. It's that simple, man. It's that simple. And then finding like New York City refugees bringing their crime and riffraff to Connecticut, and we don't have the prison population to house all of them. We don't. Yeah, we literally don't. So this is why like this. People like me who live in Connecticut are watching what's going on in New York City. And we're watching what's going on over there very carefully because we know what goes on over there is what's going to scare the living shit out of us. And as someone who's in my diaper and onesie, that scares me out of my diaper. That literally does, guys. That literally does. But I will tell you this. I will tell you all this is that if you have a chance, vote for Curtis Sliwell. At least he's the sane option. And if you're not from New York City, donate to Curtis Sliwell. Okay, donate to him, endorse him, back him. Okay, every endorsement, every donation tells New Yorkers that this is the person that should be running your city. This is the person that we have faith and trust and believe in. Yeah, we literally do. So As I say, guys, as a Connecticut resident, I'm already watching what's going on in New York City because what happens in New York City impacts where I live in Connecticut. Really does. And it really does. But anyway, I want to talk about this article. Okay. This article came from the Daily Signal. All right. And this is an interesting article that includes a video component on this. Okay. And here's the title: Want to prevent a civil war? Trump has the right idea. The reason for this is this: we're heading into a civil war with the way Antifa and anti-ICE protesters are going. They're trying to attack like conservatives, Republicans, libertarians, independents, and even commentators, threatening them and even threatening to like kill ICE agents. We're headed to a civil war here. I've been saying this many times on the show that once we cross that line into civil war, once Antifa crosses that line into a civil war territory, there's no going back. There's no, oops, I made a mistake. No, you cross that line, there's no going back. Once you cross that line and you piss off enough Americans, I'm telling you, not even law enforcement is going to stop the full brunt of average Americans who have their way of life interrupted by leftist thugs, okay? By leftist terrorists who protest, cause violence, mayhem, and all this shit. Once the people who had their whole life interrupted by this shit, they're gonna pick up arms and they're gonna come after them with everything, including the motherfucking goddamn kitchen sink. And when that happens, ladies and gentlemen, I don't think Pam Bondi, Cash Patel, Dan Bongino, or Christine Nome have what it takes to stop the onslaught of average Americans who are fed up with leftist terrorists like Antifa and anti-ICE. They will take them out even if the federal government isn't doing it. They will take them out literally with everything, including the goddamn kitchen sink. So this is like a stark warning here. You don't want to cross that line into civil war. You don't. Because what happens if average Americans who have no skin in the game, no skin in the issue, who get fed up with Antifa, anti-ICE, like causing mayhem, causing riots, protests over ICE doing their job, and they get fed up with that shit? I'm telling you, law enforcement may not have the means or the resources to not only stop the left, but stop people who are sick and tired of the left. And we may be headed for an insurgency. We may be headed for a civil war. And I'm telling you, this article from Daily Signal, right here, from the Daily Signal, if you want to stop a civil war, okay, this week, the mayor of Chicago accused President Trump of declaring war on a city and claimed conservatives want a rematch of the Civil War. Ironically, the person more likely to prevent civil war is the very guy Brandon Johnson claims is declaring it. Let's zoom out for a second. Yeah, the fact that the Chicago mayor thinks that President Trump wants to declare a civil war, all because blue states and blue cities are so pro sanctuary, so pro illegal immigrant, that some of the illegal immigrants that crossed the border illegally during the Brandon administration are wanted criminals in their home country, are wanted are criminals who committed crimes that literally would get them deported immediately. Yeah. But the fact of the matter is the left is pushing this towards civil war. The left is like inching closer and closer and closer and closer. How I'm going to put this in another analogy? If you know the doomsday clock, you know how they say we're like 15 minutes, 20 minutes, 10 minutes, 5 minutes, or 4, 3, and 2 minutes. We're basically like this. We're basically like 5 minutes away from a civil war happening here in Connecticut, in this country. We're basically like 5 minutes away. Because you know why? It's because the anti-ICE left, the Antifa left, okay? They hadn't been clamped down. They hadn't been like arrested, prosecuted. Because you know why? Because the left being protected by judges who are Democrat, who were voted in or nominated by Brandon, who are siding with them instead of siding the Constitution and the rule of law. That's why people are getting fed up. That's why people are getting sick and tired, and they're sitting there going like this: we don't have a country if you got judges who are being so lenient on these people that in a normal society they'd be fucking thrown in prison by now. They literally would. They literally would. But I'm telling you this, guys. We're headed towards a civil war. We are. We are. Trump's trying to prevent the civil war. Trump's trying to stop it. Trump's trying to say, no, we can't have a civil war in this country. We can't. But the left is pushing it. And they're pushing it and pushing it and pushing it. And I'm telling you, this is my stark prediction, guys. And you guys can, flag it on October 10, 2025, that all it would take is an anti-ICE or Antifa left to attack an innocent bystander who had nothing to do with their shit, who was just in the way, and they hit them because they thought they were part of the other side. If that shit happens, and that person who was an unfortunate victim of Antifa or the anti-ICE left, telling you, when they hit that average person who had nothing to do with them or nothing to do with what's going on, when the shit hits the fan, the anti-ICE left and Antifa have walked into civil war. And I'm telling you right now, there are average Americans who have said on social media they wouldn't think twice of beating the shit out of Antifa and tossing them into a dumpster. Same thing to an anti-ICE left. They would do the same thing because they wouldn't give a shit about law enforcement because law enforcement wouldn't even do shit. They wouldn't even give a shit about the courts because the courts wouldn't even do shit to clamp down on these people. And if that day happens, you know we are in civil war territory. Because the people who have nothing to do with them, have nothing to do with what's going on in this country, all of a sudden decide to go full-blown civil war on them. Telling you, ladies and gentlemen, the people who wanted to be left out of this argument, left out of this shit, telling you guys, those are the people that are going to scare the living shit out of the anti-ICE left, the Antifa terrorist group. Because I'm telling you right now, The people who wanted to be left alone didn't want anything to do with the shit. And if they fuck them over, not even law enforcement is going to stop those people. Law enforcement ain't going to be able to stop them. It's going to be all mayhem. It's going to be all mayhem and violence and insurgency so badly that I'm telling you, these people wouldn't even last a fucking single day. Yeah, I'm telling you, man. I'm telling you, we're getting to that point, guys. We are getting to that point. And that's why I'm telling you, man, it's getting there. And then I got this article right here from One American News. Bondi, San Diego man arrested for death threats against conservative commentator Benny Johnson. Read you the paragraph for this. A 69-year-old man living in San Diego has been accused of sending a letter to conservative commentator Benny Johnson threatening his life, according to the Attorney General Pam Bondi. At the press conference on Friday, Bondi announced the suspect's arrest, which occurred at his family's residence as part of an alleged Antifa plot to emulate last month's assassination of conservative activist Charlie Kirk. We're getting there. We're getting there. This is a sign that Antifa is pushing us towards civil war. I'm telling you, once we cross that line into civil war, I'm telling you, Antifa, you better make peace with whoever you pray to, because I'm telling you, once we get into that line, once we cross that line into civil war, I don't think the federal government ain't going to be able to stop what's coming from the other side that wants to take your ass out. I don't think the federal government's got what it takes. I don't think, because they're gonna have to hold the federal government's gonna have to hold the line in the middle between the right and the left that wants to kill each other. Yeah, telling you, man, we're gonna be headed to that situation where the federal government's going to have to fight not only the left but also the right, and they're going to try to have to stop the right from attacking the left and stop the left from attacking the right. Tell you, we're going to be headed to that situation. We're going to be headed to it, and when we do, it ain't going to be pretty, ladies and gentlemen. It ain't going to be pretty. It ain't, because I'm telling you right now, guys, it ain't going to be fucking pretty. But I will say this, guys, for the Antifa left and the anti-ICE left, you better hope you have your life insurance paid for. You better hope you have your affairs in order, because once you cross that line into civil war, there's no going back. There's no going back. And the federal government's going to have its hands full in stopping either side from killing each other. Yeah, and that ain't going to be fun. That ain't going to be fun. And I'm probably going to be sitting on my back deck, my diaper onesie, watching the shit show go down. Yeah. So this is why, guys, you don't want to cross that line into civil war. You don't want to cross that line into political violence, because that's a point of no return, and that's a red line that we're drawing right there in the sand, and we're saying, you cross that, there's no going back. There is no going back. So that's why we're trying to prevent this, and we're trying to stop both sides from killing each other, because both sides literally do, and we're trying our best. But anyway, I want to talk about these two articles, okay? And these two articles come from the Federalist, all right? And the first one, Democrats are giving up on democracy. Well, yeah, because Democrats are giving up on democracy. because if they can't get things their way, they resort to political violence, terrorism, and civil war. They do. They're giving up on democracy. Yeah, they're the party that wants political violence and terrorism and civil war in this country. They're the party that wants like socialist, communist mayhem. They're the party that wants that. But I'm telling you right now, guys, they're the party that's going to go extinct if they continue that path. And if they continue that path from this article in the Federalist, they're going to be an endangered species party. Okay? They are. And this is why it's like this. The side that wants political violence, the side that wants political terrorism and civil war is the side that's going to lose so badly that they may never recover for centuries. They may never ever. And I'll tell you this, it'll be their Waterloo moment. It will. And when it becomes their Waterloo moment, guys, oh boy, it will become their Waterloo moment. All right. So anyway, I want to talk about this article also from the Federalist. All right. And this one is about a California governor's election. This one by a former representative by the name of Katie Porter. And this sick son of a bitch is par course for standard for what passes as normal in the Democrat Party. Katie Porter, like, she did an interview on a local news network. She basically went ballistic because she couldn't handle a follow-up question. And then there was a video of her berating her staff when she was on a Zoom interview with the president. And when she was documented her beating the crap out of her husband. That's why her husband filed divorce. Katie Porter is the type of person that belongs in a psychiatric hospital. But because she's a Democrat, they think it's normal. But to me, Katie Porter is a poster child for why people like her do not belong in politics. They do not belong in polite society. And for the people of California, if you vote for this, you should not be allowed to be admitted into the United States ever again. You should be kicked out of the country and be your own country. Okay? But I'll read you this article. Katie Porter's nasty, abusive attitude is standard antisocial Democrat behavior. Yeah, I'll read you this. You simply do not hear stories about berated staff from Republicans in Congress or the West Wing. Antisocial behavior is a Democrat thing. Reaction to newly resurfaced videos this week of California Democrat gubernatorial candidate Katie Porter being an absolute horror of a human being to others is largely summed up as, wow, what a witch. But there's something deeper to consider when you put it in context of the Democrats more broadly, their extensively documented tendency to wreak havoc on innocent and unassuming people. People like Katie Porter and in her Democrat Party, that's par course for them. That's basically what passes for normal in the Democrat Party. If you're antisocial, if you're psychotic, you're mentally ill, and all that, that's par course. To me, these people should not be allowed to run for office. They should be walked into the psychiatric hospital, locked behind the door, throw away the key, and let her rot for the rest of her life. Yeah, These people should. These people, for the life of me, how the hell they got into Congress is like you have to sit me down to hear their explanation. You really have to. But the fact that these people got into Congress and now she wants to run for governor of New York, but she can't take an interview or a follow-up question. These people are psychotic. These people are these people are mentally psychotic. I wouldn't even let her run for governor. Hell, if she was trying to do that here in Connecticut, almost everybody in the state would tell her, no, no, you're not getting in. You're not running. You're not. But in California, it's normal for them to be antisocial and psychotic to run for governor. hmm It literally is. But to me, guys, to me, these people are par course for what passes as normal. These people are. And for the life of me, fucking California will let this psychotic nut job run for governor of California. Who said it was okay? Whoever said it was okay in California, he or she or it is probably what? In hiding? Because if the people found out who allowed it, would probably be thrown in prison for it. Would probably be thrown in federal prison for the rest of their life. They probably would, guys. They probably would. But that's like Mandani. When New York City allowed that fucking commie thug to run for mayor of New York. Yeah, that's why it's like this. What you're seeing, ladies and gentlemen, is the death throes of the Democrat Party. The the John F. Kennedy era of the Democrat Party died. Okay? The moderates, they've all been chased out. They're now like what? Like conservatives, Republicans, or libertarians. Yeah. The only ones left are the crazies, the socialists, the communists, and the antisocial, psychotic whack jobs. Yeah, that's what's left of the Democrat Party. And at this point, the Democrat Party should just slide off the cliff into irrelevancy. They should just like push off the side of the cliff and let them fall in the deepest trenches that we have on the face of the earth. Just let them fall, guys. Just let them fall. But to me, I'm gonna say like this: I'm glad we don't have crazy people in the Republicans, conservatives, libertarians, and independents, and the MAGA. I'm glad we don't have crazy people like that. Because let me tell you something: crazies on our side would be pushed far off, so far in the woods that they are never heard from ever again. Yeah, they would. But on the left, they're like come on into our party, come on into our circle. Yeah, they would. They literally would, guys. They literally would. But if this is what passes for normal in the Democrat Party, man, I'm glad I wake up every day knowing that I am not a Democrat. I'm glad I wake up every day, guys. I'm so glad, guys. I am so glad. You know? Yeah. Wow, man. Wow. That was a good show for y'all today, man. Wow. Yeah. I'm headed to the weekend as always. You know how that is. It's like my Friday, But yeah, I know I'm dealing with tinnitus, and tinnitus is a fucking pain in the ass. And if anybody has any ideas on how to deal with tinnitus, how to take care of it, and all that, how to like get rid of tinnitus, guys, I'm welcome to suggestions, guys, because I know like this tinnitus is a pain in the ass, and especially for me who can't hear very well, who's deaf in one ear, and tinnitus makes it even worse, guys. So, anyway, guys, I want to thank you guys for listening to Nikki's World. I'm Nikki, your host. I will see y'all soon. Bye for now. You just listened to an episode of Nikki's World. Thanks for listening. We'll see y'all soon. Bye for now.